What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Paint Points. It's that man, Abu's brother man. And today we have another video on the Washington Commanders and the 2026 NFL Draft. A lot of these news pundits, these insiders, these guys who are around the rumor mill, they've been leaking that Washington Commanders are looking to trade back in this year's draft. As we know, the Commanders have only 2 picks within like the top 100. So the Commanders need to do a lot of work when it comes to making sure they can fill out the rest of their roster, making sure that they can, draft pieces that will help them this year and beyond when it comes to Jaden Daniels and the team. So we look at this article right here by Ahmed Ghaffir, and he lists about 5 different teams that Washington can trade back with. We don't need to look at the rest of the article. We're just gonna read the front part, because I already have in mind a bunch of teams that we can trade with, and I will speak to you about that in a second. But just looking at his article from the beginning, it says, with now less than 2 weeks until the 2026 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders were reportedly among the teams exploring a trade to move down in the first round. The rationale is clear. It's clear given the front office has a pair of top 100 picks to work with, including a 7th overall pick that could have a lot of intrigue given. With that, we take a look at 5 teams who have either been reported as interested in moving up or are a logical trade partner for the Commanders. So what I primarily look at logical trade partners. I don't really look at who's trying to move up, because that can kind of muddy the waters. Let's look at logical trade partners, right? So if we pull up the CBS draft board, well, I guess we could give him some credit. Let's go ahead and look. So he said the Buccaneers, the Cleveland Browns, Kansas City Chiefs, they all looking to move up. Dallas looking to move up. All these teams looking to move up. The New York Jets have a bunch of picks, and that's my caveat right here. The New York Jets. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. As you can see, you got the Washington Commanders as the number 7 pick. Now, if you go back to my videos about my Washington draft targets, you would see that would be to trade away this number 7 pick, because we need pieces. And in trading away the number 7 pick, the goal is to maximize Jaden Daniels' help, man. I'm talking about throw Jaden so much help that we ain't got no choice but to get into the Super Bowl and win one. That's if I'm Adam Peters, I feel like Adam Peters has 2 different ways he can go about this. He can go about getting the best defensive player in the draft at the number 7 pick, or one of the best defensive players in the draft, and help Dan Quinn in solidifying his defense. Or he can give help to Jaden Daniels and add talent upon talent through this draft, because it's there. It's there. So if you watch my videos from the past couple weeks, I've said you got to find a sucker. And the sucker will be the New York Jets. The New York Jets have a ton of picks. They actually have the number 2 pick. They also have the number 16 pick. They also have the number 33rd pick. You know what I'm saying? The 2nd pick of the 2nd round. They also have the 16th pick of the 2nd round. So if you believe that, the New York Jets want to fill out their roster and get all these different pieces, I doubt it. I feel like they want to move up to make a splash. They want to move up to get some names, some top talented names, some household names into their locker room, so that they can rebuild their entire team. They let go of guys like Sauce Gardner. They let go of guys like Quinn. They let go of some of their top players, and now are in rebuild mode. There's no way you can't tell me that they have like 5 picks in the top 50. That's super, super valuable. Now, a team like that, a team like the Jets, who are a sorry franchise, a sorry roster, they can either try to fill out the roster through using all these draft picks, or they can use these draft picks to get the top talent. You know what I'm saying? Or they can use their draft picks to trade for first round picks in next year. Because next year is where, hey, it's going to be a race to that finish line, to the number one pick, so that you can get the Manning guy, Manning out of Texas. You know, so from my point of view, if the Washington Commanders were going to trade back, you got to trade back with the Jets. Trade back with the Jets. And what I would do, I would trade back with the Jets, trade my number 7 pick for the number 16 pick and the number 44th pick. That's not on here. Oh, let's take a look. Let's see if we can find. The Jets have the number 2 pick, number 16 pick. You go to second. They have the number 33rd pick in the second round. Let's see what else they got. They got the number 44th pick in the second round. That's 4 picks in the top 50 so far. 4 picks. The New York Jets have 4 picks in the top 44 of this upcoming draft. So you got to find a sucker. You got to find a sucker who got, a weak front office like the Jets. So as a Washington Commanders, Adam Peters, you trade away this number 7 pick for the number 16 pick, as well as the number 44 pick. Right? Now, if you can get the 33rd pick instead of 44, all power to you, Adam Peters. All power to you, but that ain't my job. That's your job to finagle that. But I like to work with realistic scenarios. The realistic scenario is to trade that number 7 pick for the 16th pick from the Jets, as well as the number 44th pick from the Jets. Now, will you ask me, oh, hey, brother man, what you doing with this number 16 pick, man? I already got that answer. The number 16 pick, I'm picking a wide receiver. Either Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, Omar Cooper Jr. Right? Now, my dream scenario, because in my philosophy is trying to get Jaden Daniels as many weapons as possible. My dream scenario would be trade to number 16 pick, draft Kenyon Sadiq. Because what we've seen is that Jaden Daniels plays, his best years have come with great tight end play. So you find a tight end that can play alongside Jaden Daniels for 5, 6, 7 years to come. I feel like Jaden Daniels will have his best years if he has a great tight end. I know we got Okonkwo, but we need more. I'm trying to maximize. You see how Dallas got 2 top wide receivers. They're maximizing their offense that way, right? So you get Kenyon Sadiq. Now, if you draft Kenyon Sadiq at number 16, if he's available, then whether it's the second round or the third round, I got to get me another wide receiver. In the second round, it'll be Chris Brazzell. If I get a wide receiver in the third round, it got to be Elijah Surratt, wide receiver out of Indiana. So hey, look, that's Adam Peters. It's Adam Peters' job to put this shit together. I'm just putting the play and letting you know what I would do in each situation. Because at the end of the day, we don't know none of this shit. We don't know who's going to be there. Ruben Bain has fallen. I think he's fallen lower than the number 8 pick. So guys will fall for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? But at this moment, I'm saying if at 16, if Kenyon Sadiq is available, I'm choosing Kenyon Sadiq. But I'm also getting a wide receiver later in the draft, whether it's a second or third round, because I'm trying to maximize Jaden Daniels' potential. I want so many weapons around Jaden Daniels that he gets labeled as one of the best quarterbacks of all time. You dig what I'm saying? All right. Hey, brother man. Well, what if Kenyon Sadiq's not available? then I like a Makai Lemon. Makai Lemon. In this mock draft, they got Makai Lemon going number 12 to the Dallas Cowboys. But of course, we don't know what's really going to happen. He could definitely drop. If Makai Lemon drops to number 16, I'm picking Makai Lemon. Makai Lemon is you can look at him as a Terry replacement, but you can also look at him as a guy that can do the same things that that Debo did last year. A guy that can play in the slot a lot for you as well. Now, if we pick up Makai Lemon at 16, then I'm still getting a wide receiver. I'm getting a tall, big wide receiver later in the draft, whether it's the second or third round. And that still could be Chris Brazzell, or in the third round could be Elijah Surratt. You dig what I'm saying? Either or. But we need a big 6'4" type guy on the outside that you don't got to worry about. He's going to go one-on-one with their best corner, and he's going to cook him. Fades, slow goes, slants, that A.J. Brown, that Drake London type, that Julio Jones type receiver. That's who we can get in the second and third round. And Chris Brazzell, Malachi Fields, Elijah Surratt, there are guys to be had later in the draft that fit what we don't have. We don't have that big X receiver right now. Yeah, we got Terry. Terry could do everything for us, but it's better when players have a position, have a set position, because then they could maximize their potential at that set position. When you have too many jobs, you stretch yourself too thin. Now you're saying, hey man, hey brother man, what if Kenyon Sadiq or Makai Lemon ain't available? Yeah, I'm looking at Jordan Tyson. Hey, now everybody, the whole fan base keep looking for, Brandon Ayuk. When is Ayuk gonna come when he come, man? Pause. But Ayuk is gonna get released when he get released, and we're gonna sign him when we sign him. I feel like that whole Brandon Ayuk situation, you just gotta let it matriculate, man. You just gotta let the pieces fall where they may. And to be honest, we may not be able to outbid the next team for Brandon Ayuk. Unless Brandon Ayuk gives us a discount and he really want to resurrect his career with one of his best friends in Jaden Daniels. But if Makai Lemon, if Kenyon Sadiq not available at 16, I'm going Jordan Tyson at 16. Now, Jordan Tyson, I believe, will be available at 16. So you don't got to worry about, hey, if he's not available. I believe a guy like Jordan Tyson will be available at 16. Now, Jordan Tyson kind of switches the board up a little bit for me. Because if I pick Jordan Tyson in the first round, I'm not getting another wide receiver late in the round. Because Jordan Tyson could be Jordan Tyson could be my Terry replacement. Jordan Tyson could be one of the best wide receivers in this draft. Right? So at 16, I'm getting Jordan Tyson, and I'm not looking for a wide receiver later in the draft. I'm going running back. I'm going center. I'm going tight end. Right? So Jordan Tyson does kind of fix a lot of things here, and especially if he's healthy as well. I hope it's the team's job to do the background check, health-wise and all that other stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's on that. Now, if for some reason Jordan Tyson not available, if for some reason the team wants to go a different direction, I believe the next option at number 16 should be Omar Cooper Jr. Where he at? They almost got him in the first round number. Where he at? Dang, he looks like he priced out the first round, according to the mocks, right? But for so long, he's been penciled in as a day one pick. But regardless, right? At 16, if we don't want to go the route because we're worried about injuries and all this other stuff with Jordan Tyson, we can still go Omar Cooper Jr. Omar Cooper Jr. is a guy that can take over for Terry when Terry's gone. At the same time as saying that, I would still pick up a bigger wide receiver later in the draft if Omar Cooper Jr. was our first round pick. But Omar Cooper Jr. brings so much to the table that it's like a spitting image of Terry. You know what I'm saying? Like, Omar Cooper Jr., I did a video on him. You can go and check it out. Omar Cooper Jr. has strong hands. He's tough. He's physical. You know what I'm saying? He establishes his positioning. He breaks tackles. He scores touchdowns. He's a key contributor on the championship team. Like, Omar Cooper Jr. is another guy that we can definitely pick up. And I say all this to say that trading back is not the end all be all. Trading back is not a bad thing. Trading back allows us to add pieces to the roster that we've been lacking. You know what I'm saying? Trading back also helps. Now, if we trade back, if we somehow, some way get into the second round and we trade with the Jets, does Chris Brazzell even fall to us at the Jets? According to this mock draft, he doesn't. According to this mock draft, he doesn't. But there are some other guys. Shit, you can go ahead and take Sam Heck, center out of Kansas State. But we need a second round pick, AP. Adam Peters, man, we desperately need a second round pick in order to make this draft feel successful. We need a second round pick. They got Omar Cooper Jr. going 37 to the Giants in the second round. Man, hey, AP, man, we desperately need a second round pick because, if anything, we can pick up a center. Now, there's also Logan Jones. There's Connor Lewis. There's a couple of other centers in the draft that we can target later. But I'm just saying, like, Chris Brazzell, Malachi Fields, like, they're wide receivers to be had, man. But at the end of the day, man, that's AP's job, man. It ain't my job, bro. It's AP's job, man. But, like I said, man, it's all about trade. It's all about finding that trade partner. And that's what the Washington Commanders are trying to do right now. Now, that article said they had 5 potential trade down partners. Realistically, man, I only see the Jets, man, because we need a second round pick. They're one of the only teams that have, 2 picks, 2 second round picks. You dig what I'm saying? I could see the Ravens wanting to move up. I could very well see the Ravens wanting to move up. I could also see the Dolphins. The Dolphins don't know what the fuck they doing, man. Yeah, man, that's all I could see. All I could see us trading with, because at the end of the day, we need people that are going to trade with us. And also, you got to want the trade as well. Like, for me, I don't want to trade back anything later than the 17th pick. I don't want to trade back. I want to trade to the 16th pick and choose whoever I want at that 16th pick. You know what I'm saying? I want to choose the best person on my board, on my draft board at 16. I don't want to go any further lower than that. So, looking at this, really doesn't do any justice. So the only teams I can see us trading with, that I would trade with, are the Jets, because they have multiple second round picks, so they're gonna be willing to give one up. And this will give the Jets 2 picks within the first top 7 picks, which in their eyes will be revamping their organization, bringing in 2 top 10 players. Those will be your cornerstones moving forward. You know what I'm saying? But from here on out, man, it's going to get spicy, man. It's going to get a little unchy, man. The Dallas has 2 picks in the first round as well. Dallas got 2 picks in the first round, man. But we need a second round pick, bruh. Would Dallas give us their second round pick? Let's see how many picks Dallas got. I don't see Cowboys on here. So the Cowboys don't have a second round pick. Yeah, they don't. So I don't see the Cowboys trading neither of those picks to us, man. Because our goal should be getting a second round pick. We can't get too many first round picks. We can't pay everybody in that 5th year. We can't give everybody a 5th year extension. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be what it's gonna be, man. There's a lot to be in store for the Washington Commanders and their draft, that first day of the draft next week, man. But time will tell, man. That's what I like to say. I always like to say time will tell, man. But with all that being said, the Washington Commanders, Big AP, got a lot of decisions to make when it comes to this draft next week, man. Hey, if you got this far, I do appreciate you, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and beat up the comment section, man. What do you think about the trading scenario that I just named for the Washington Commanders? Do you think they should trade back with the Jets? Do you think they should trade back with somebody else? Do you think they should stay at number 7 pick and pick the best player at that time? Whether it be Cornell Tate, whether it be Jeremiah Love, whether it be Caleb Downs, whether it be whether it be any of those top players that they're looking for. You let me know in the comment section, man. Subscribe. You watch another video on Paint Points. Today we talked about the Washington Commanders being rumored to be one of those teams that want to trade down in next year's draft, man.